From the Venture Cafe in Cambridge, I'm Mike O'Toole, and this is PJA Radio. We're talking the we economy today as part of the FutureM conference in Boston. Put simply, the we economy is how brands behave in the social era. The idea is that brands are jointly owned by the company, its customer, and the community. Now, we think the we economy is a great topic for a conference about the future of marketing, but the thought is that you've all sat through enough panels. We thought it would be a lot more fun if we actually lived the idea for a few days. So we partnered with our good friends at b.good and came up with Future Shake. And this is a brand and consumers and a community all coming together to collaborate on a new milkshake.
So we built a website that let consumers flavor source shake ideas. And they could mix up to 3 flavors out of a selection of about 18. And we used only social media to drive traffic to that site. It was only up for 36 hours, and during that, and ended just a week ago today, during that time we had more than 300 flavor ideas submitted. And then together with Jon, we selected 3 final flavors for live testing on Harvey, which is the b.good shake truck, which you may have seen on the street outside on your way in today. Jon and his team, they went off and they bought all the ingredients and perfected their recipes. And the PJA team got busy getting ready to go out and bribe security guards so that we could get good locations for Harvey, and cajoling busy people on the street who were also freezing in Boston's 50-degree rainy weather to come try a couple of milkshakes. We built a smartphone-friendly mobile website that people could use to vote. Yes, that site was chock full of HTML5, this being a marketing conference. It's been a great time. We had a lot of interesting conversations with folks on the street about how crowdsourcing really fit into the context of FutureM. And we're hoping that even after the show today, we'll be able to continue this conversation about the we economy.
So the we economy, Jon, I know is not a term you would ever use in your restaurants, ever. But I know that the idea behind it is important to you. The idea that it's not just be good doing unto the customer. It's you guys are in it together. Yeah. How important is that to be good?
So really from the beginning, we've always thought about what we want to do is you have to step back a little bit, and we always say we want to make fast food real. And so to us, we have a very distinct idea of what that means, but we break it into 3 things. We think we need to serve real food, which is, we define it as food made by people, not factories. We think we have to act like real people. So real people is central to the brand. And then the third piece, which is the piece that kind of gets towards this we economy side, is what we call providing a real experience. And so to us, a real experience has always been defined by making our customers active participants in the creation of the brand.
I think we do hear a lot about crowdsourcing, brands trying crowdsourcing, which are more almost about promotion. It's about a cool idea for getting some customer input. And Doug, if you could give us some broader market context here. We've all seen the Doritos commercials. We know there's a lot of high-profile crowdsourcing ideas for brands, but do you see companies actually changing the relationship with customers in the way that Jon's talking about?
Yes, we do. In fact, the use of social media for marketing purposes is kind of a long story. It's been going on for a while. What companies are now realizing is that they can leverage those kinds of platforms and other technologies to allow the customer to come closer to them and really help define what that product or strategy might be for the brand.
As we thought about the we economy, and as Robert said, this is an idea in its development, and we've got a bunch of principles that we think are important. One is the notion of power sharing, which I think is a little different than crowdsourcing. And I think the notion is you share responsibility with a customer. You don't abdicate responsibility to a customer. And Jon, I'd love to get you talking about this because it suggests trade-offs. That the customer may have ideas, they may not always be good ideas, right? And you can't just hand over the keys to them.
Yeah, we've tested, we've kind of pushed the envelope, I think, a little bit. We were talking about it just before the show. It's funny, I didn't even remember we did this because I think it went so poorly. But last winter, we crowdsourced burger ideas. And we literally turned over the power to our family of customers. Where we actually selected 5, but then the voting, we strictly said whatever wins, the voting is going to be transparent. You're going to see it on the menu. Or you won't see it on the menu, but you can get it one day of the week for a reduced price, just for our family. And there was one that won that I literally wanted to throw up, and I hate it.
Hey, Doug, what about you? Does this power sharing is this balance of responsibility? Does it ever get companies into trouble? I mean, John's given us an example, but do companies run the risk of alienating customers if they ask for involvement but don't act on it?
Absolutely. I think one of the key lessons from Social Media 101 was if you're going to get involved, you have to stay involved and stay engaged. And I mentioned Dell as being one of the leaders in the ideation side of things. Early on, they launched their Idea Storm website. I happened to go to that site a couple days ago and found that the #2 highest ranked idea on the Idea Storm site right now is Dell needs to spend more time on its Idea Storm site and be more engaged with the users that are here. And they cited specific examples of this part hasn't been updated in 9 months. Nothing has been done on this site for 2 months. And some of the comments were very scathing, like, I guess they don't have time for us.
So as we push on this idea of real, right, and we tell the story real and we're transparent about it, we just assume that sales would increase, right? People would embrace it. They would just cling to this idea and totally support it. And we have a good business, but we haven't seen the gains that we thought. So now we're in a stage where we say, it's the market, maybe we're a little bit ahead of the market, maybe people really aren't, they talk a lot about it, maybe they're not really ready to understand what it means. So now we're in this game where it's about awareness, raising consciousness, and trying to bring the market to us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and also, so you're talking a little bit about the customer and what they're ready for. I wanted to turn there, actually, because the we economy, power sharing, transparency suggest, in a way, a willing and ready consumer, that they're ready to kind of go into business with these brands. Doug, I know you've done some research there. What do we know about consumer attitudes as it relates to co-creation?
Right. Yeah, it's a common question for companies. They say, it's great that we might want to get consumers more engaged, but are consumers really going to be interested in doing that? So we did conduct a survey last, I guess, the second quarter of this year, and we specifically defined what co-creation was, and we asked consumers would be interested in doing this. Somewhat surprisingly to me, 61% of U.S. online adults came back and said yes, they would be interested in participating in that kind of opportunity to help develop a product.
So we are, unfortunately, running to the end of our half hour here. We are going to stay and open it up to Q&A afterwards, and we'll hear Kevin Smith give his PJA Radio nightmare as it relates to crowdsourcing. But before we go, I want to let everyone know that if you're looking for more information on the topic, you can find it on pjalive.com and also the wiki that Robert mentioned. So that's it for today. We'd like to thank the Venture Cafe in Kendall Square for opening up the space. And a special thanks to our live audience and everyone who participated in our FutureM events during the week. I'm Mike O'Toole, and for everyone here at PJA Radio, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.